Hey everyone, my name is Lewis and welcome to my channel. If you're new, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here again for another video. So today I'm going to be showing you exactly how I film my YouTube videos as a small content creator, from the camera that I use, the mics that I use, editing software, how I store all my media and all that stuff. Because you know guys, this is a lot of stuff that you don't usually think about when you're starting a YouTube channel, but once you start making videos and your storage starts filling up, or you don't know how to manage all this stuff, it can become quite stressful. So I'm just kind of coming on here today to help you guys out with a little bit of taking that stress or that anxiety or that fear of creating content.
People think you have to drop thousands of dollars on cameras, lights, drones and gear to start a YouTube channel, but let me tell you, you absolutely do not. As a small creator, what matters way more than expensive gear is your story. It's how you connect with people, it's your energy and personality on camera, it's the way you share your adventures, ideas or passions. Good visuals and clean audio definitely help people keep watching longer, but expensive cameras alone won't save a boring video. Trust me, I filmed beautiful 4K footage of absolutely nothing happening, and guess what? Nobody watched it. So today I'm going to be showing you my real life setup and process, the gear I use, how I film and how I put it all together. And hopefully it'll give you some ideas to build your own workflow and prove that you don't have to break the bank to create videos people love. Because at the end of the day, YouTube isn't about who has the fanciest gear, it's about telling your story, making a few people laugh along the way, letting your creativity flow and just having fun.
Okay, so let's talk gear, because obviously this is what you're going to be using to produce all of your YouTube videos. So starting off with my cameras that I use mainly 3 cameras. The first one that I use is a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. You probably have heard about this camera countless times because it's everywhere. The DJI Pocket 3 is an all-around really good camera for recording. It's small, it's lightweight, it's compact, it's so portable, and the best thing about it is that it has a gimbal built into it, which means that your shots are all going to be stabilized. So if you're moving around, or if you're running, or if you're in a really shaky environment, you will be sure to get very steady shots. It's actually insane how good this camera is. It has this little screen at the front that you can see, and then the camera actually rotates, so you don't have to keep turning it around to face you. The camera will face you and it will also face what's in front of you as well. So I usually record all my videos in D-Log M 10-bit. It's already a setting that comes built into your DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and when you record in D-Log M, all your footage has this weird grey looking tint to it, so you just have to go to the DJI website and download their LUT, and then you just have to apply that over your video during your editing process. My secondary camera is the DJI Action 5 Pro, because the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is very fragile as it has a gimbal built into it. It's very petite, whereas with the Action 5 Pro, it's an action camera, so you can take, a little bit less care with it. You can be less careful with it, that's the word. You can bring it with you underwater, you can go mountain climbing with it, doing all this stuff that you normally wouldn't do with the Pocket 3. So yeah, that's my kind of secondary camera when I'm doing something more risky, I suppose, and also when it's raining as well, because the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is not waterproof, whereas the Osmo Action 5 Pro is water resistant. And just like the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I record in D-Log M 10-bit. And then guys, of course, a camera that we all have in our pockets is our phone as well. So it's what I know, it's what I've always been using, and it's really good quality as well. So the phone that I have currently is an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I also record in 4K 30 FPS, and I try and always use a back camera because of course it has better quality than the front. So moving on to the audio. Audio is just as important, if not more important than video, to be honest, because if you were to watch a crappy quality video and the audio was really good, I feel like that you can still watch that, whereas if the video quality is really high
but the audio is really crap, you're not going to listen to that, because it's what you're hearing that
matters most, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I'm trying to say here. So as you can see, I'm using the DJI Mic 2. This mic here comes with your Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Combo, so I highly recommend, if you're going to get the Osmo Pocket 3, to get the Creator Combo, as it has everything that you need. And I also use the DJI Mic Minis, which is kind of like this one, but they're just a little bit smaller. And then I also have my Blue Yeti stereo mic, which I kind of use if I'm doing more professional work for my job. Even though I've been kind of finding myself lately just using the Mic Minis because they're so versatile. You can plug them into your phone, you can plug them into your computer, you can plug them into literally anything that has a USB-C port, and also you can clip these onto you as well, so if you don't want to hold them, you can just clip them in. Now let's move on to storage and computers, because this is a very crucial part of your YouTube journey. So I mainly use my MacBook Pro M3 to edit all of my videos. So from February 2024 onwards, all my videos have been edited on this computer here, and guys, it handles it really well. I've never had any issues with it. Sometimes it will occasionally slow down if I have a lot of things on the timeline, but that just comes down to me not having enough RAM, which is kind of annoying. annoying because when I bought it, the base model was like 8 gigabytes and it was all I could afford at the time. But if you can get a MacBook that has at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, go ahead and get that. All the MacBook Pros and Airs that are being sold currently, all the base models have 16 gigabytes of RAM, so you should have no issue finding one that fits your budget or, you know, your needs or whatever. But yeah, for me, the MacBook Pro right now handles my work perfectly. If I ever feel the need to like upgrade, I don't have an issue doing that. If you can get a Pro as well, I would probably go for that, as it has more port options than the Air. So it has SD card reader, HDMI, and you get more USB-C ports as well. Whereas with the Air, you're only getting 2 ports. But you can always resolve that issue with dongles. But if you can get the Pro, just get the Pro. So because I record with the DJI cameras, they both take micro SD cards. So on my Osmo Pocket 3, I have a Samsung micro SD, and then on my Action 5 Pro, I have a SanDisk micro SD card. I always try and get at least 128 because you don't want to be running out of storage and then having to keep swapping them out. So when it comes to transferring all of the files over to my computer, I use a Samsung T7 SSD to edit off of. When I edit on Final Cut Pro, like, it absolutely fills up my storage on my computer. So I just edit everything directly off of my Samsung T7 SSD. This one is a 1 terabyte model. So I edit my footage off of my Samsung T7 SSD, but once I'm done with all the editing and everything, I put everything onto my hard drive, because for long-term storage, hard drives tend to be a little bit more reliable. So I've heard. I haven't had any issues with my hard drive at the moment. I've been using it for, I want to say, almost 2 years. I got it in September 2023 and it's still running like a champ. So for me, it's been great. And I got my Samsung T7 not that long ago, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. And pro tip, back up all of your project files. So whether you leave that on your computer or you transfer it to another SSD or HDD or even like a little SD card, just honestly make sure that you back all those files, because the last thing you want to do is transfer everything over, delete it, and then when you go back to check your hard drive, like, everything is completely gone. So make sure that you have some sort of backup as well. So when it comes to editing my videos, I use Final Cut Pro, which is not subscription based. You pay a one-time fee for that, and it's a really good editing software. It does tend to be a little bit more complex than the other editing software that I use, which is a subscription based version of CapCut Pro, because it gets all the professional features and everything like that. I've heard recently that CapCut though is like owning all the content that you do, so I don't know how I feel about that. So that's why I've been slowly transitioning back to Final Cut Pro, and like, I feel so limited sometimes with what I can do on Final Cut that like I so badly want to go back to CapCut Pro. Okay, so now that we've gotten the gear out of the way, let's move on to my filming process. So like I said, I mainly do travel vlogs, so like my production isn't like absolutely like sit down, lights, camera, action. It's mainly just me getting the Osmo, going around showing people what I'm doing. So usually when I'm doing A-roll videos, which is me just talking to you guys, I will just set my Osmo Pocket 3 on my windowsill like I am right now, and I'm facing against the window because natural light is always best. I don't have any sort of artificial lighting because we are on a budget. We ain't no big production company here in my bedroom, so I just like to use the natural light. And because I'm also a travel vlogger as well, like, I mainly just use the light that's outside because that's mainly where I am. Okay, when it comes to shooting B-roll as well, I feel like that's just as important as your A-roll, because B-roll is what's going to keep the viewers captivated. So yeah guys, that's how I film all of my YouTube videos as a small content creator. You know, stick to the gear that you already have, because that's the gear that you're going to be able to produce your best videos with, and then upgrade over time, because that's basically what I've been doing right now. I've been kind of saving up my money to kind of invest in my YouTube journey and my YouTube channel. Once you kind of start taking it seriously, you're kind of naturally more inclined to like actually upgrade your equipment. So start with your phone. If you don't have a mic, get a little, it doesn't even have to be a DJI mic, like it can be literally any wireless mic, or even like the one that's on like your little earphones. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, if you are into travel vlogging or some sort of content creation tips every now and then, you are more than welcome to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.